If you love him so much, why don't you marry him? Welcome to the Backlot 605 podcast. This is episode number 50. I am one of your hosts. I am Casey Kelderman, and I am joined today by not Brian Mensing, but Blake Ginnathan.
Whoop, whoop.
What's up, Blake?
What's up, Casey?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up? What's up?
What's up?
Yeah, Brian is not here because when this episode comes out, he's going to be at our Sioux Falls Film Community meetup, so we had to change a little things up to make it to that, so he'll be there. But this week, it's just going to be me and Blake kicking it back. We're going to be talking some Halloween movies this week.
Yeah, my favorite subject.
Yeah, so I think that's good that it's just us, kicking it back, talk some news, talk some box office, talk about what we do on Halloween night. Just kind of share what are some of our Halloween traditions, or what's a perfect like Halloween triple feature or something. We'll just kick it back and talk. This is going to be more of a hangout episode, I think, just shooting the shit and talking movies. So let's jump into it. We got the box office results are in for the week. Number one this week, Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, $36.9 million. Yeah, Disney.
Yep.
Yeah. I have no interest in seeing this movie. Didn't have interest. I've seen parts of the first one on TV. I don't really give.
I honestly didn't know there's a sequel coming until like last week. So
yeah, there honestly hasn't been a whole lot of marketing from Disney. I think they're waiting because they had this Frozen 2 and Star Wars movie.
Did they make a Frozen 2?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, go to any retail store right now, and it's all
I don't
Frozen
like to shop.
2.
I've still even seen the first Frozen, so.
Yeah, I saw. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. I understand why kids go nuts for it, but yeah, that Disney is not going to be hurting for money here in the fall and the winter. But
that's good.
Yeah, good for them.
We hate to see a business go out of.
We hate to see Disney go out of business.
We don't want to see that.
Maleficent, though, a Mistress of Evil, number one. Not really a surprise. Disney is they're still gonna take number one no matter when they come out. So, number two, though, this week, Joker sticks around. $29.2 million, a 47.6% drop from last week. Total gross so far domestically, $247 million. It's nearing $800 million worldwide already. It's going to probably cross $1 billion worldwide for an R-rated, Joker movie. So.
What's the next step for a movie to be like considered wildly successful? Because I feel like $1 billion is pretty much routine nowadays.
Yeah, I think the $2 billion is kind of what's like. Wow, that movie made $2 billion.
Right.
Yeah, because every Disney movie makes $1 billion.
I'm not here to crap on the Joker because I haven't seen it yet. But I'm not impressed with $800 million. Like, I would love to see it make $2 billion.
It's also an R-rated, not any comic book action, though. I think that's the craziest thing. Like, I don't remember who brought this up where I saw it, but it's like. You've heard all this controversy of people asking Martin Scorsese and Francis Ford Coppola, what do you guys think of Marvel movies?
Right.
Like, who gives a shit what they think? But yeah, it's crazy that we live in a world where a movie like this Taxi Driver type of movie has to be called Joker and based on a comic book property to make any money or for people to get eyes on it. You know what I mean?
It's sad, yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's why I'm kind of glad it's doing pretty well. I haven't seen the movie yet, but it's different.
My brother saw it and he said it was really good, so I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, so
I just don't have time to go see a movie anymore.
You're telling me, man.
You're telling me.
We're telling each other that there's too many movies to go watch, including this one, number 3, Zombieland 2 Double Tap, $26.8 million. Pretty good opening weekend. 40, is that right for the budget? $42 million? That seems
very high.
That seems a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I think it. Yeah, if I'm looking at that right, because I saw somewhere that the budget was doubled. Obviously, from the first movie, you got to freaking pay all these Oscar-winning actors now. So yeah, Zombieland 2. I guess then maybe that $26 million isn't too great if you're running at a $42 million budget. That seems like a lot. I don't know. I didn't have a chance to watch this yet. I'm excited for Zombieland, as we mentioned on a podcast that will be coming out very shortly. It's one of my favorite horror comedies, and yeah, I'm excited to go watch the sequel. I think the cast is really good, and I'm excited to see how they bring Bill Murray back.
Is that happening?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
Zombie. Number 4, The Addams Family animated film, $16 million. That's a pretty good stay for this movie, and it's looks, I don't know what, third week out? Is that right? No, second week out.
second week out.
Yeah, not too bad for this family comedy. I haven't heard great things about it. I don't know.
I just saw like a preview last week for it, and I actually think it kind of looks fun. But I'll probably wait till my daughter is old enough to watch
it.
before
Yeah.
I take a gander at it. But yeah, I mean, it's getting okay reviews, so I'll watch it eventually, I think.
Yeah, it seems like it's not anything to rush out.
It's got a great cast.
Yeah, it does. Number 5, Gemini Man, the Willie Smith-led movie, $8.3 million. Yeah.
Gemini Man.
Gemini Man. If only he should have included a rap song in the soundtrack.
Yeah.
I think that's what's missing from Will. Is that what's missing from Will Smith movies these days?
Well, we talked about it. I could just not care about Will Smith movies. So.
Yeah. We did Will Smith movies last week.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
I am not in love with Will Smith. I know a lot of people are. I think he is.
He's got incredible chemistry with just about anybody.
Yeah, and he's super charismatic.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I don't know what it is though. It's not that none of his movies ever connect or resonate fully with me.
Yeah.
Because I like a lot of them, like we discussed last week, but none of them stick around as my favorites.
I honestly can't think of one Will Smith movie I would even want to rewatch.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like Pursuit of Happiness.
I
think that's a good movie. But it's not one I'm going to go watch constantly. So
yeah, I sort of wish this movie was doing better. Just based solely on the fact that I really like Ang Lee a lot, and he just tries new things. And yeah, I mean maybe this new frames per second thing he's trying to do is either like way ahead of its time, or it's never going to catch on. But I even if he's just taking a chance, I would love to see it be more successful, which is unfortunate. But it just doesn't look very good. Clive Owen, who I love Clive Owen, he looks just boring in these Hollywood roles he does. You know, I wish there was something he could do.
And like Ang Lee, like you said, he pushes the boundaries on technology. He's done that from the beginning of him being a director, and I think many times he is a little too far ahead. Yeah, like with where he's trying to bring some of the stuff, and I don't think some people are ready for it, or even theaters are ready for it, because not every theater could play the...
From my understanding, not a single theater in America can play the movie in its true way that he is intending it. That's what I heard.
I don't know. Then if that's the case, who the hell is this movie for? Is he trying to get the Chinese audience that maybe has it? Who knows? But there's only one other movie I want to bring up here in the box office, and that's the number 11, Parasite, which you have had a chance to watch, but it is in only 33 theaters, but it's still number 11 with $1.2 million.
Yep. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good for a movie that's like only in New York and LA, like big cities.
I think this movie is going to be... It's not going to, be the movie that audiences are going to be flocking to, like another Ang Lee reference, Crouch Tiger, Hidden Dragon. It's not going to be a cultural phenomenon, but I think what it's about, which is, different class systems and how different people have to, what they do to survive versus the people who have everything at the top with how they live. I think that might resonate with a lot of people, especially with how you may feel politically, which I'm not going to get into, but I think that might resonate with some people. I don't think it's going to be a smash hit, but I think it's going to be a big hit, and I would not surprise me if this is like Best Picture, Best Director, Best Screenplay, even some acting nominations come, January, February. I think this is going to be a major player with the Academy Awards, especially like people are kind of seeing this as like Bong Joon-ho's big breakout. Like he's been making great movies for 20 years now. Like every single movie I've seen of his, I have not seen his debut movie yet, but I've seen everything else. And this guy makes extraordinary movies to sit through. And I think this might be his best one. And not only his best one, but his breakthrough, like with international audiences as well.
And I think that number kind of goes to show that people are like, they're still going to go and search out this movie. They're going to go see it in the theater if they can. So, yeah, I just wish theater chains not in L.A. and New York and
Would take a chance on
something like
I
this.
do too.
Yeah,
I do too.
So yeah, that's the box office for the week. No real surprises. We'll see how it does next week with a couple new releases. I think Maleficent will probably stick around that number one spot. It definitely will. Let's move on to the news for the week. Let's start off with this comic book news because it's the culture we live in now. Number one, this first piece of news that we got here, we got some new casting for the Matt Reeves directed Batman film. Zoe Kravitz has been cast as Catwoman. Paul Dano has been cast as the Riddler.
I didn't realize Catwoman was going to be in this movie.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about this movie. Matt Reeves is a very competent director. You know, he made the last two 8 movies that were incredible, and I mean, I'll keep defending Robert Pattinson until the day I die. I think he's an incredible actor, and for those who keep living on the Twilight stuff, please go watch Good Time and Lost City of Z and A High Life and all these other really great indie movies he's been doing. Zoe Kravitz she's really good, and I think she's going to be incredible as Catwoman. And Paul Dano, I could take or leave as the Riddler, but I think he's a tremendous
better than Jonah Hill.
Yeah, I think that was a rumor that got wild. I don't think that was ever a serious thing.
Yeah, we mentioned it a few weeks ago with the Jonah Hill casting. I wouldn't be able to see him as Riddler, and I don't know thinking about it more now, if I could see him as a villain at all in these type of movies.
No,
I can't take him serious.
I don't think so. Yeah.
But yeah, both of these castings, I think, Paul, like when I think of Riddler, I think of a guy like he's not menacing, but you want to just punch him in the face. Paul Dano has a punchable face.
You know who would be a good Riddler is Guy Pearce.
Guy Pearce would be a fun Riddler. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this seems more aimed at younger people with his casting.
Yeah.
So
I think the Zoe Kravitz thing she's fine. Yeah, she's going to be a fine Catwoman. Yeah. It's not like this is going to be a
centric story on her.
Yeah, a centric story on her, or like this, you're going to need like so much gravitas in your acting to play Catwoman. You don't. And honestly, like, I don't like, obviously the Halle Berry Catwoman's horrendous. I didn't like the Anne Hathaway Catwoman. Partially because I don't
more straight.
I don't like Anne Hathaway very much.
I think she's a great actress.
But yeah, I want this movie to have a little fun. It can be dark.
You want the Michelle Pfeiffer.
No. Maybe not that far into the kooky fun, like a Tim Burton movie, but more like, I don't know if you've ever played the Arkham Batman games.
I don't play video games. No.
I don't either, but those are the few I've played. And Catwoman she kind of pops in and out of the story, but she's like what you want Catwoman to be within those.
Okay.
I think that if they go that route, which I'm hoping they're leaning towards, I think that's a good casting. We got other comic book news here with some Venom 2, our favorite movie. Carnage, he's going to be the main villain in the film, but it's also rumored that Carnage's girlfriend, Shriek, will be in this movie because Sony, they do really well when you keep adding villains to their movies. Venom 2, I don't care about this movie, really. I thought the first one was horrendous.
Did you
watch it?
Do you want me to keep going on the negativity? I thought it was one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Okay, yeah. It just wasn't fun. Like, I couldn't, like, Tom Hardy is a completely different movie than everybody else, and it just didn't have tonality. It didn't understand what it is, and Venom is a really cool comic book character, but
I don't think they'll ever get Venom right.
I don't know if they can.
I don't have faith at this point.
And at this point, everybody's like, well, give them to Marvel. I'm like, well, they messed up Spider-Man. So if they mess up Spider-Man, you can't really give them faith to do Venom at this point. So, yeah, I pissed probably a lot of fanboys off by saying Spider-Man.
I have not seen the last one yet. So
that I hate it.
Yeah, I know you do.
I might have liked it less than Venom.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I cannot protect you on that one. So.
Yeah, fight me, internet. But yeah, I think Sony just doesn't understand that one villain's fine. Make a menacing villain, and when you think of the greatest villains of all time, and they don't have to have someone else at their side, like Joker or
Isn't Venom's entire purpose in life to kill Spider-Man? I'm asking you. Is that?
Yeah, that's another reason I had a problem with the
I thought I
movie.
heard something from the internet that like the reason why it's not working is because the Venom only works with Spider-Man.
Yeah, he does, because Venom is basically, when you think of the Venom symbiote, it's what it connects to. It's a host, and it takes traits from that, but makes them dark and takes out their inner demons and makes them presented in the forefront. And that's what Venom is. He's the dark version of Spider-Man.
Right.
Hence why he looks like Spider-Man
Sure.
and has the same powers as him.
Sure.
So yeah, it doesn't make any sense why he exists without Spider-Man.
Yeah, like I don't want to
And
cheer for Venom, so
Yeah.
why is he the main? I don't understand it.
And then another thing, Carnage is a really cool villain, and he's basically an offshoot of Venom.
Yeah.
But he gets connected very much in a horror fashion. Gets connected to a serial killer, and he becomes even darker.
Okay.
So Carnage, in terms of trying to defeat Carnage, he's darker than Venom. So many times when they have Carnage, it's Venom and Spider-Man team up to take him out. Mm-hmm. And I don't see that happening. And
Yeah,
I don't like Venom, so I don't care. So, yeah, Venom 2, I won't watch it in the theater. Probably won't watch it at all. Who knows? Let's jump to this next piece of news. Get out of the comic book negativity for a while. Samara Weaving has been cast in Snake Eyes, a G.I. Joe spinoff. One, I didn't know this was happening, but two, put Samara Weaving in anything and your movie's boosted in my eyes.
I do not have as big as crush as you guys do with Samara Weaving, but I also have not seen as many movies with her as you guys have. Yeah. I'm excited to see Ready or Not because it got good reviews, didn't it? I mean, and you guys loved it.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see
Like,
that.
honest, it could push for my favorite movie this year. I loved it.
Okay, hey, it's your list.
And she's great in it.
Yeah. I actually like the first two G.I. Joe movies.
Really?
I do,
I couldn't even finish the second one.
and I thought that was even better than the first one. But so I don't like spin-offs, especially when they're so many years after the originals come out. But
I wonder if it's going to connect to those.
I'm excited to
That's
see
I'm wondering.
what she can do, what she does with the role.
And also, I'm not a G.I. Joe guy. I didn't grow up on
I was when I was 3.
I didn't.
'cause I was
Yeah,
big when I was
I didn't
a
grow
kid.
up
Yeah.
with G.I. Joe.
See, I
I don't know
did,
if
yeah.
that affects that at all, but I don't know if I would see this, but I think it's good casting.
I don't think I'll ever see this, but
Yeah. So next piece of casting, I like this one a little bit more, and it's something I will eventually
I'm
see.
not sold on this yet.
That is Neil Patrick Harris has joined the cast of The Matrix 4. The reason I'm kind of into it because I don't think it'll be a very big part. I think it'll be pretty minimal. Very much. Have you seen Gone Girl?
Yes.
I think it might be that amount of screen time.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
And if he plays something like he can do, I kind of want to see him
No.
go darker, and I think he can do it.
I didn't mean to sound like he can't do anything. Like he's a good actor and he's great in Gone Girl. I'm trying to picture like
Where he fits.
I'm trying to picture him in like a leather trench coat with guns and stuff. And
Are they
with the
still going to have the
glasses.
leather coats? That's what
I don't
I'm
know.
wondering.
Yeah, but I can't picture it yet. I'm sure I'll see him in the trailer and be like, okay, I'm good. But
Yeah, I don't think it'll be very big. I think it's a fun addition at least.
Is the original cast coming back on that? Keanu and Carrie-Anne Moss?
Carrie Ann, yep. I don't know about Larry, so I don't know.
Who?
Larry Fishburne.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I haven't even watched. I've never watched the sequels to The Matrix.
They're fine.
At this point, I'm probably waiting.
I'm
gonna wait until this movie.
You know what's
coming
overrated
up.
is the hate for those two sequels. Like they're fine. They're not.
But they're not the first. It's the fact that the first one's.
They do ruin the mystique of the first one, but like there's still some great stuff in them, even if their holes are not great.
So yeah, I'll probably just watch all three right before The Matrix 4 comes out. Yeah, keep it fresh in my mind for that. I think it's a fun casting, but let's move on to the next piece here. Imaginary Friends. This is a new movie that is going to be coming out, written and directed by John Krasinski, also starring Krasinski alongside Ryan Reynolds. It is described as a fantasy comedy where Ryan Reynolds plays an imaginary friend of John Krasinski.
It sounds like Step Brothers 2.
But Step Brothers is fun. I take it Blake does not like Step Brothers.
I'm not a big fan of Step Brothers.
Yeah. I think Krasinski he's if this is the next step he's taking after A Quiet Place 2 is going to be a second directing feature. I'll be interested to see where he goes going back to comedy, because I thought A Quiet Place was really like, wow, like the guy from The Office made this. Like I thought it was a really well put together thriller, and I'm excited for the second one of A Quiet Place, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm so negative today on this podcast. I don't like Ryan Reynolds. I think he's the same guy in every single movie, and his shtick wears out within 2 or 3 minutes. But I'm interested to see what the plot is. Like, why is their imaginary friend, like what's happening in Krasinski's life within the plot? Why is this happening? I'm curious to see what that is before I go knives out on this movie. But yeah, it could be dark humor. Like who knows? I don't know. It could be a Drop Dead Fred too. Who knows? So
yeah, like have you ever seen Voices?
No. I've heard it's okay.
It's all right. I'm kind of in the same boat. I probably like Ryan Reynolds a little more than you do, I guess. I don't, but he's not my favorite. He is very much the same shtick as it's his
He's
shtick.
good at it, but
Yeah, and I think him and Krasinski could have really fun chemistry. That might be the big selling point for it. It's I think especially with Ryan Reynolds, it's who he's paired with that will make me want to go see it.
Yeah,
because like what was that movie he did a while like he did a movie with Samuel L. Jackson not that long ago?
Yeah, my something bodyguard,
Hitman's Bodyguard.
Yeah.
I didn't care. The one with Jeff Bridges, R.I.P.D.
Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I watched like 5 minutes of it on TV. I'm like,
from my understanding, you're the only person ever to watch that.
That's ever
movie.
seen.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I've actually back when that came out, I might have been in high school yet. But no, I saw someone. I worked with someone who saw it, and they're like, "This is my favorite movie ever." I'm like, "You need to watch more than one movie in your life." But yeah, I don't know. I'm interested in this movie at least.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
We'll see what comes out with.
What did you think of A Quiet Place?
I thought it was boring.
Oh, all right.
I thought it was well made.
Did you watch it in? I think I've asked you this. Did you watch it in the theater?
Yes.
Were people talking?
No.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I think I don't know.
I saw it. I think a lot of it depends on when you see a movie. If you see it and every single person's telling you to go see it, like because it's the best horror movie in years and it's like you might have like a higher expectation. And I went into it and I thought the opening was really well done. I just it ended and I was kind of like, oh, is that it? Like it's over? Like that was kind of my feeling on it.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I guess I didn't really go in with all the hype because I went opening weekend.
I saw it like 2 months after it came out.
That might be it. Yeah. I went opening weekend because I'm like, wow, Jim Halpert from The Office is making a horror movie.
I think I was still on Twitter when this movie came out, and I just kept seeing like John Krasinski's made the new masterpiece over and over and over, and I was kind of like, oh, okay, I guess I better see this movie.
Okay, I can see where you're coming from because that's the same year Get Out came out, and people are like, this is the next great thing. Like Jordan Peele did Get Out, Krasinski did A Quiet Place. I'm like, all right, just
don't get me started.
Hit the brakes. Oh, really? Did you see it opening weekend or
I saw it like 6 months after it came out.
All right, you might just need to stay off the internet completely.
I'm ready to quit.
Let's move to the next piece of news here. Robert Eggers, the director of The Witch and The Lighthouse, has announced his next project, which is called The Northman, which is going to be a Viking revenge film.
Interesting.
Starring Nicole Kidman, Willem Dafoe, Alexander Skarsgård, Bill Skarsgård, and Anya Taylor-Joy.
Cool. He's an interesting director, and I kind of can't wait to see what he does next.
A Viking revenge film. That itself kind of intrigues me.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of sounds like the Nicholas Winding Refn movie, Valhalla Rising, that came out about 10 years ago, honestly. But we'll see what he does. I mean, he definitely has this knack for like visual poetry. He's The Witch, and I have not seen anything for The Lighthouse. I'm assuming it's way different, but it's I don't know, like a Viking revenge movie. I mean, it's definitely something you don't see every day.
And at least with he has a name behind him now, even though it's kind of at this point he's done one movie, not counting
he's done
with
two.
with the Lighthouse
Right.
now, but. Here in Sioux Falls, God knows if we're gonna get that movie.
We'll get it
Like
eventually.
I'm excited. Like that's one of my most anticipated movies to watch this year because you said you hadn't watched the trailer.
I've seen nothing for
Okay.
it. Yeah.
I watched the trailer. I'm like, yeah, I have to see this on the big screen. Like I can't not watch it on the big screen. And The Witch, the first time I watched it, I was really indifferent on. I haven't gone back to. That was opening weekend in the theater, and I have to go back and rewatch that movie. I don't know if I missed something or if I honestly don't know. So it's. Did you love The Witch or did you hate The Witch?
I want to preface this by saying that I actually do like movies, but man, I found The Witch incredibly boring.
Okay, I did too. I did too the first time I watched it.
And I was like, okay, I missed something. And I took like 2 years and I'm like, I'm going to watch this again. And I missed something. And I was even more bored the second time. I don't find The Witch that interesting, that good.
Yeah,
I'm
like
sorry.
I said, I only watched it that one time almost 4 years ago now that movie came out.
There's something about it. It's very well made. But ultimately, like, I checked my watch 30 times during that movie. Like, when is this over with?
That's also one of those movies where, like you said, hype got to it. Hype had gotten to me already at that point when I saw it. Scariest movie since The Exorcist. I'm like,
Yeah, I don't believe.
granted, that happens every like 2 years of
Right,
movies.
I don't
the scariest
believe
movie.
like the critic polls that they do for the trailer, like when a critic says something like
Yeah.
that. But like when it's deafening on Twitter or other websites where it's like, "Yep, this is the scariest movie." Da, 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 that's when I start to like, okay, there might be something in here. But when it happens and you don't buy it, then it's like
it kind of lets you down a little more.
it
little
does.
more.
It
than,
really does. Yeah.
So I kind of want to go back into it with fresh eyes, knowing I have seen it, take away all hype from it, and just
Yeah.
go and sit and watch it
I
again.
think it's on Netflix.
I own
you
it.
own it. Okay.
Yeah, it was the first movie me and Kayla went and saw together.
I'm sorry you spent that money twice on it.
Yeah, it was like $5 on Black Friday. I didn't break the bank for The Witch. So I'm excited for his new project, though.
I wish nothing but best for the guy. The Lighthouse looks really cool.
Yeah. Let's move on to our final couple pieces of news that relate to each other in a way. Evil Dead 4 is apparently on the way, according to Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi. But there's a big old fat but in there. Raimi will not be back to direct it.
Who is?
They are unsure, but Raimi will pick them himself.
I hope Raimi picks
Himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
This just feels sacrilegious to have anyone else.
Do an Evil Dead
Yeah.
movie, yeah.
Yeah, especially after how great the series has been. Like, this doesn't feel right.
I'm excited because, yeah, cool, we're going to get a new Evil Dead movie. But if it's that, like, the original timeline Evil Dead, yeah, Sam Raimi needs to do it.
Yeah.
Like,
Unless
this is maybe the big unless. Unless they, for some reason, some way, they finally want to connect the 2013 Evil Dead to the original series and bring back Fede to do 4 and then the crossover.
I need to rewatch that
don't
one
know.
too. But this is bittersweet. You know, it's nice to get another Evil Dead.
And this isn't
And
confirmed.
I'm assuming,
this isn't.
I'm assuming Raimi would be producing.
Yeah,
Okay.
he produced the remake too.
Okay.
But yeah, this isn't confirmed, but it's heavily like this is the big talk that from Bruce and Sam that it's eventually going to happen. And I mean, we got the TV series. Is it going to continue from that? Are they going to keep with that some of that cast? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's so many what ifs in this scenario where either way, if they do announce, hey, tomorrow, yes, Evil Dead 4 is happening, coming out October of 2020, my ass is going to be in the theater that weekend.
I will consider going to see it.
Yeah. So that brings us to our last piece of news, though. This one is official and happening. Sam Raimi is going to be returning to the director's chair
For not Evil Dead 4.
for I guess not Evil Dead 4, for a new horror movie. Thoughts?
I don't know. What's it about?
There is writers attached to it. nothing else besides what. There's no real story coming behind it.
Is Bruce Campbell going to be in it?
He will have a cameo, I'm sure. Written by Mark Swift and Damian Shannon, who wrote the 2009 Friday the 13th. Excuse me.
Okay.
Yeah, but this is what has been said about what the movie is going to be. The film will be something like Misery meets Castaway.
Ooh.
Which would fit Raimi.
I
think that would be
intrigued.
I think I don't care what this movie's going to be.
Yeah.
I'm going to be there.
I think he just understands the genre so much and does it his own way that it's hard not to be excited for this movie.
And this is going to be his first time going back to horror since Drag Me to Hell.
I believe so.
Because the last thing he did before this was that Wizard of Oz movie. Woof. What was that? Oz the Great and Powerful, yeah. And then Drag Me to Hell, then the Spider-Man movie. So he's been out of the horror game for a while, and I kind of
he's been out of the game for a while.
Yeah. 2013 with that Oz movie. He's attached to what's World War III? I don't know.
I'm sure it's about World War III.
Is it a documentary? I don't know.
The way things are shaping up, who knows? Yeah, this is exciting. I just wish it was Evil Dead 4, but
yeah,
Drag Me to Hell is proof that he still has it. So I'm excited.
Yeah, the last thing he has done is a couple this short and a couple episodes of Ash vs. Evil Dead. So I'm excited. He needs to be back. I don't know what else.
Yeah.
What else to say about it? I'm gonna go watch it no matter what. He's one of, if not my favorite directors of all time, and yeah, I think that is something missing in horror right now, is because you have these studio PG-13 movies, which take themselves way too seriously, but then you also have the kind of art house style, like the witches.
There needs to be a
Hereditary,
a middle road horror movies, and
and I think
Raimi's the guy.
He is the guy.
Yeah.
So either way, I'll be there whenever this movie comes out, and I'm excited to see it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm just glad he's back to directing. Period. Yeah. Like it's like I hadn't realized until this news came out. I'm like, yeah, he's been out of the game for a while.
It's kind of like when you leave your kids at home, and they're just messing up the place, and like you might be the babysitter, and you're like, oh God, I wish the parents would come home. And then Sam Raimi walks in, and you're like, oh, it's good again. You know, like
he kicks open the door, the wind is flying everywhere.
He's gonna steady the boat. You know, like that's Raimi to me.
Steadies the boat.
He's one of the greats.
He is, and God, like, yeah, Evil Dead. He needs, like, at this point, I wish he could just do Evil Dead 4 or Spider-Man 4 or both. Do it.
Yeah, Evil Dead 4.
So yeah, that's been the news for the week. Kind of a mixed bag of news. We were really negative, but let's bring it positive.
Yeah, let's
get a new Sam Raimi movie. That's cool.
Movies, yeah,
I think that's really cool. Like I've never seen a Sam Raimi movie in the theater.
I have seen.
That'll be pretty cool.
You're watching the Spider-Mans in the theater?
My parents didn't take me to movies growing up in the theaters.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, maybe it's not too bad. I saw all the Spider-Mans, and I saw Drag Me to Hell.
I remember I was in high school when Oz came out and just never went.
You don't need to see that. But I never saw. I think that's all I saw. Were those four? Yeah. Drag Me to Hell in the theater was a lot of fun.
All right, so let's keep on this horror train. We're gonna run into our Halloween night. So what do we like to do on Halloween? Blake, I don't know about you, but do you like dressing up for Halloween yet as an adult?
I'll
kick it off with that.
I don't. I have a thing that I don't like spending a lot of money on something that I'm going to use once. And it seems like you can't spend a lot of money on something and then be like, I'm going like this the rest of my life. So I don't dress up. I don't like doing it. But I really love when people get into it and get inspired and do like really wacky things. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I personally don't like dressing up. So
did you as a kid?
I did it. I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy doing it.
Do you have a favorite costume
that I dressed up as?
Yeah.
I don't remember. The only thing I remember dressing up as is like a G. I did um, like a GI Joe inspired one where I had like I think I might have been like Snake Eyes without the mask. It's like my dad made. I can't remember what he looked like in the '80s, but I looked like a ninja in a way. And that's the only time. That's the only thing I remember dressing up as. I did dress up as Ghostface one time for Halloween, but that was like a $60, outfit. And
Wow.
the thing with that is,
You can find those now everywhere for like $10.
yeah, this was back when like
Scream was
3
actually
came out
yeah.
or something. Yeah, it was a thing. But the thing with the Ghostface is like the costume doesn't work unless you're wearing a mask. And then at that point, no one knows really who you are, and you can't have a conversation with somebody at a party, and you're sweating, so it just doesn't work. It works better if you actually want to murder someone or scare them. So and I didn't want to do that.
You don't want to murder or scare anyone?
No.
Yeah. I always liked scaring people. Some of my favorite costumes growing up, I was probably 4th or 5th grade. I was Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh wow! Do you have pictures of that?
I'm sure somewhere.
Yeah.
At that point, that was like my favorite movie ever. I'm like, I am Napoleon Dynamite, so I have to be Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
So I had the moon boots, the Vote for Pedro shirt, the wig and
That
glasses.
shirt was everywhere when it came out. Yeah.
Yeah, so that might be my favorite costume as a kid. I never did any scary costumes. I think I was kind of scared myself to be anything scary. But now growing up into adulthood, ever since like senior year of high school, I've always had a Michael Myers mask. I had one. Mm-hmm. So I was him a couple of years. I would just walk around my hometown and just pop out and scare people.
That's
or
awesome.
stare into windows and keep like I wouldn't talk. I'm like if I'm gonna be Michael Myers, I'm staying in character throughout the night.
Wow, method, very
yes,
cool.
Very. And to this day he's staring at us right up there.
He is.
I just bought him last year, so that was me and my fiance Kayla, we like to dress up every year.
What does she go as?
So the first year we went together, we didn't coordinate. She was like a creepy doll, and I was Casey Jones from Ninja Turtles.
Makes sense.
That was fun. Got to wear a cool leather jacket and hockey mask and the hockey stick. No one knew who I was. Are you goalie? I'm like, no, I'm Casey Jones. The next year we were Pennywise and Georgie.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was Pennywise the clown. She was Georgie, and she had the raincoat, covered herself in blood.
Did she have only one arm?
Yeah, she tucked her arm in and made it all bloody on the side.
That's cool.
That was fun. It wasn't screen accurate Pennywise. I'm like, I'm not gonna pay $70.
No.
So I bought a freaking cheap clown costume for like $10 and a wig and a nose, and had Kayla paint my face, and it turned out cool.
Very cool.
And then last year, I was Michael Myers, full jumpsuit, full Shatner mask. And then she was Laurie Strode from the first Halloween.
Really?
So she had the mom jeans on, the like the blue blouse, and she cut her sleeve like she does in the movie, and then put a scar on it and had blood coming off it. That was a really cool one. And then this year we're doing another. We're gonna coordinate another one.
Cool.
Horror related.
I'm looking I have a 6-month-old daughter, and I'm looking forward to when she gets old enough to what my wife and I come up with taking her trick or treating and dressing up. So I'm excited. For
Are you
that.
gonna at least do that with? Are you gonna like coordinate with her, like
with my wife or my daughter?
Both, like all three of you be something together?
I don't know. It's possible. My wife has this amazing talent to like convince me to do stuff. Like she'll come to me with stuff and she'll be like, "Hey, we should do this," and I'm like, "Yeah, nah, I'm not feeling it." And then she'll come back like a day later. And she'll be like, "Hey, I bought this for you so we can do that thing." And it's like, "I don't want to do it." She's like, "Well, let's just try it." So I put it on. I'll be like, "Yeah, okay." And then she'll be like, "All right, let's go do it." And like, yeah. So I can see something like that happening with the three of us, but we'll see.
And your daughter, she'll love it if you take part in it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
What did you like to do growing up on Halloween? Is there any certain movies you like to watch?
Yes. The big one that I watched a lot was by Tobe Hooper. It is Invaders from Mars from 1986. It's PG, so I got away with it. I couldn't rent over PG-13 until I was like 15, which is ridiculous. Anyway, so Invaders from Mars, Toby Hooper. Have you seen it?
Mm-mm.
It's a kids movie. I'm gonna quote kids movie because
Okay.
it's PG. It's aimed at kids.
Yeah.
It's scary. Like even as I watch it as I'm in my mid-30s. It's still like I watch it. I'm like, back in the 80s, they really went for it with scaring kids and putting kids in peril compared to nowadays. And I still find the movie quite effective. But that was my go-to. I'd watch it. I mean, I don't know if I watched it every Halloween, but that was my scary movie that I would go to. I didn't fall in love with Halloween until I was probably in my late 20s, honestly. But
The movie Halloween.
no, with the date.
Oh, with the holiday.
And John Carpenter's Halloween. Yeah, I didn't like that movie at first, and it slowly grew on me. But Invaders from Mars was the movie that, as a kid, scared me the most, and I would watch the most.
Yeah. Halloween. Like I've always loved Halloween. But as a kid, like I was kind of a scaredy kid. I didn't like watching scary stuff.
Neither did I.
And I think that kind of goes for almost every kid, but I was always intrigued by it. I don't know if you had the same thing. Like, I'd want to watch it, but I'm like, I'm gonna get scared watching.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I have so few memories of being a kid and watching scary movies. It's so hard to say. I remember my dad rented a movie one time, and it scared the bejesus out of me. Like I was wailing, like I can't do this. Shut it off. And so he shut it off, and he finished it later. But I remember the images were so vivid in my head. Like I remembered scenes from this movie like for years. Didn't know the name of the movie. Remembered the VHS cover and like hunted this down for like months. Like I need to find this movie, and I eventually found the movie and watched it and was like, this scared me. Like this movie scared me. But
What was the movie?
Galaxy of Terror.
Okay.
Which actually I think Robert Englund is in it and Sid Haig maybe.
I don't know. I will look it up while you...
But I don't have a lot of memories of watching scary movies when I was a kid. The one big impact I remember having on me was the Arena when that was holding events when I was a kid. They did a production of the Phantom of the Opera, and it terrified me. Like it was very well done. And I remember going home that night and going to bed, and I could not sleep. And I remember I kept peeling the covers from over my head and like staring at my open closet door, and like it was just darkness. And I remember being convinced that the Phantom was in my closet. And I remember I woke up the next morning covered in sweat because I was so terrified
of the Phantom.
So I don't know if like in some way me falling in love with the genre and Halloween is me trying to like fight back on those early repressed memories or whatnot. But
that's an interesting thing to bring up because I think that's kind of the way I
because I love being scared now.
Yeah.
Like I love watching horror movies and
obviously we do a horror podcast. But it has honestly become like it's my favorite genre of films to watch because I honestly almost every time I watch a movie like a scary movie, there's the little bit of the kid inside of me is still there.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I shouldn't be watching this, but I'm intrigued by it.
Yeah.
Like for me growing up, some of the movies I always watched around Halloween. I grew up, with Disney Channel. Like just that was the thing to watch. So Halloween Town was always on during October.
I've never seen it.
I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I haven't gone back to watch that in at least 10 years. So I liked that. I think there's 3 or 4 of those. I don't remember. I thought they were really fun kids movies, and they perfectly, from what I remember, they encapsulate that holiday pretty well. They go to an entire town that's set around Halloween, and obviously the one everybody's for some reason in the last 5 years has become obsessed with, Hocus Pocus.
It's a nostalgia thing.
I don't know what it is, but
I've never seen it.
I like it.
I thought about watching it, but I feel like I wouldn't like it because I don't have that.
I think I've mentioned it to you before. Wait till your daughter's old enough to enjoy it.
Yeah,
you might
I think
find a
that's what I'm
certain
gonna
enjoyment
do.
in it. Yeah, I grew up watching that. I'm like, it's fine.
Yeah,
I liked the Halloween Town movies more. But then another one I always watched, and it's funny that you bring up Phantom of the Opera. This one was a Disney Channel original movie. It was called Phantom of the Megaplex.
Okay.
And he haunted a movie theater.
So Disney's a big impact on you.
Within the holiday, horror, yeah. Because that's what I was allowed to watch. My parents didn't really. We didn't have it. We didn't have a video store in our hometown.
Okay.
When I was growing up, it would pop up like for a month, close. Maybe 6 months later, a different one would pop up, close a month later. Like none could ever stay open.
Yeah.
And the most we ever could rent was from a gas station, and it was just shitty DVD copies of movies I didn't watch.
I was blessed to grow up in the era of video stores, and we'd go, we had one like 2 blocks from our house, and we'd walk there, drive there every Friday night, and rent a bunch of movies and stuff. But
yeah, I was stuck to what was on TV, especially growing up, or whatever movies my parents had.
You're still discovering a ton of horror stuff.
Yeah, because I never had that walking through the video store, look at that cover.
Yeah, I wish I had. I hate to be that guy, but you guys missed out on it's an incredible feeling. Like, I would walk through the video stores in the horror section and be like afraid to turn on covers or VHS cover art because I'd be so afraid. I remember there's a movie called The Black Roses or something like that, and the back of the VHS cover like legit terrified me. And I would walk up to this cover, and like literally tiptoeing because I'd be afraid that the monster in the back would come alive. There's just things like that as a kid you never forget those experiences in a video store. And it's like, oh, I wish people your age had something like, or have something like that.
And then I would say alongside that, though, I think there is kind of two eras of where we are. Well, between yourself and I, at least. You grew up in the video store era where your introduction was covers to seeing these movies.
Yep.
And mine was like, I call it the Goosebumps era, because I grew up we had the Goosebumps books, and
I did
then
too.
You had but then I had like Halloween Town and Hocus Pocus on Disney Channel to go alongside that.
You also kind of grew up in a bad decade or so for horrors, right? Like in your teens and stuff, you didn't really. It was kind of like a nadir for the horror. It was at its low point, I think.
So yeah, So I would have been a teenager, like 2012 to 2010 to 2014, roughly was my high school age.
Not quite then.
So it wasn't. I was running it. I was right in the beginning of Paranormal Activity was the greatest thing ever. Like. Which is it's a fun series to watch, but it's honestly like at that point where my friends wanted to watch Paranormal Activity or whatever cheap jump scare of the week movie came out, I was like, well, let's watch Evil Dead. Let's watch.
Yeah, my generation, we grew up with 3 or 4 or 5 horror icons who had like personality to them, and were a part of the zeitgeist of culture, and you just don't have that anymore with horror. Like, horror films have hit this weird, I don't know how to describe it. They just aren't what they were when I was a kid, and you didn't have like.
There's not a face connected to it necessarily.
No, yeah. I don't know, and like I don't know what it was like with you with movies you couldn't watch, but you'd come to school, and I'm talking like elementary school. 4th or 5th grade, and you'd hear the kids who were like, "Oh yeah, my mom like rented Nightmare on Elm Street 4, and like when she went to bed, I went and snuck in her room and grabbed it and watched it and then rewound the tape, and like you guys don't. And I'm not. This is not your guys' fault. You don't have that. See, and so I don't know like what you guys do. Do you just go to Netflix and watch something, and then hopefully your parents don't see the. You watch this? Would you want to watch that?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Okay, so I'll jump back a little. When I was a kid, I had a best friend whose mom was one of the people like where him and his older sister would kind of sneak in and watch the horror movies without them really knowing or caring, I guess. Yeah. But then he would come back and he had he would tell us about these movies, or he would tell us scary stories
Yes,
he
yes.
knew. And I had that one friend, like, and I'm pretty sure growing up, like, I went to his house often. Pretty sure his house was actually haunted. I don't know. But he would always tell us, like, horror stories, like he had either heard or
Was he good at describing
witnessed.
too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like,
We all have that one friend who's so good at it.
And yeah, it was like I was terrified. Like I lived right across the street from him, and I was terrified to go into his house ever. And but then going off what you're saying, like how did we watch movies? Yeah, like me and my buddies, So I remember the first time we were watching like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. We just went to Walmart, we're like, hey, I'll buy all the Nightmare movies. You buy all the Friday the 13th movies.
And we'll just swap them back and forth. Yeah.
No, we're going to sit and watch them all together.
Okay.
But it's like, that's how we traded it off. Like,
Yeah.
I'll buy the Nightmare movies, you buy the Friday the 13th, and then next weekend we'll watch all the Nightmares. We'll watch all the Fridays after that. And I remember at my parents' house, we were watching the Friday the 13th movies, and part 2 or 3 or something, I don't know. There was boobs on screen. And my dad just kind of walks in, what you guys watching? And he comes and sits down right in the middle of just tons of boobs on screen. And
Yeah.
this movie's stupid, and walks out. I'm like, yeah, well, I don't know. We were at that age where, like, Friday the 13th movies were cool, like, still at 16, 17
Those were
years
big when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Freddy Krueger was the guy.
Yeah, I don't know. We never had the closest thing we ever had, and within my friends when we had our movie nights, it was like Jigsaw was the guy, like our horror icon, and I don't like those movies very much.
Well, I also, and I don't know, maybe I'm not the right person to say this, but like I just feel like Jigsaw doesn't have that oomph that Freddy and even Jason has, you know. So, but time will tell, you know. Like I suppose Jigsaw will be our horror icon of this past 15, 20 years, but yeah, I mean, it's changed a lot, and a lot of, you know, I used to go to this daycare after school program where one of the guys who worked for it, he'd be like, oh, I just watched, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street. And he would describe, like your friend would do, he'd describe it in detail, and he'd be like, he'd get real low with his voice, like, oh, Freddy came out. And it was like very detailed. And
yeah, with that friend, it was always, it was on the recess playground, and we'd kind of go in the corner, be like, hey, do you have another scary story? Like, I just really liked hearing scary stories at that point. I'm like, you got another scary story? He's like, yeah, last night in my house, like, I was creeping up the steps, and I thought I heard something, like, just the way he described it. And I was like, then there was eyes in my closet, and I shut the door, and I opened them, and they were gone.
yeah,
It's like,
he must have watched Mr. Pointy back in the day.
back in the day, yeah. Yeah, but he like, I was always obsessed with horror in a way, because
it was I'm a late bloomer to it, honestly.
I am too. Like, the first time I got into horror, which is partially because of a movie we'll talk about here, Halloween, is I watched it when I was like 16, 17 is kind of when I started watching, at least into the slasher movies. And yeah, but as a kid, no, like I wouldn't touch horror at all. Like,
yeah. I had a friend who is, I mean, we're still friends, but he lives in Canada, and he's a big horror fan too, and so he was always pushing me to, like, hey, you should watch this, He'd like, you know, watch this Takeshi Miike horror movie, or watch this, you know, French horror movie, and then so he's always getting me to expand my boundaries, and then all of a sudden it kind of went backwards, where it was like, oh, it was all inspired by this, and then it was this entire back catalog of stuff I'd watch. You know, like Masters of Horror, that TV show that Mick Garris produced maybe like 15 or so years ago. That was a big influence on me too, to get in the genre. But
I never I had the friend in elementary school that would tell the scary stories, but then I never had the friend when I was getting into horror movies.
Yeah, that's good.
It was more of I was that friend telling people, like,
yeah. And now I'm kind of that friend for people too. I get a lot of messages every year, you know, on Facebook.
What should I watch?
Yeah. Hey, out of these three, what should I watch? And I do my best to explain, you know, why I really enjoyed certain ones.
Yeah, I have a friend that he'll every once in a while. Yeah, I'm trying to find a scary movie. What should I watch? And Yeah, I'm gonna lead it with the last question here. What is your go-to Halloween movies to watch on Halloween?
On Halloween.
We are on Halloween night now, October 31st. What is Blake going to watch?
Okay, I just want to preface this by saying the first time I watched Halloween, the John Carpenter movie, I did not like it, but I do my best to give movies a second chance if I'm really strongly opinionated, like I really didn't like it, or if I'm kind of like maybe I'm missing something. So, my I've rewatched Halloween a bunch of times, and it's become a yearly watch for me. I don't know if it's on Halloween, but I do try to get it in October. I would say if I'm gonna watch a movie on Halloween, it's gonna be Dawn of the Dead, which I consider probably the greatest horror movie ever made. Or else maybe The Shining. I hate to be so bland and unoriginal, but those are the two movies I go to.
If you're gonna watch it every year, it's gotta be.
And honestly, like I do try to watch Halloween on Halloween. I'm more concerned about getting that in on the month of October than anything. Yeah. Halloween 3 is another one I try to watch too.
Yeah, Halloween. If I could fit it, I would probably try to fit Halloween 3 into Halloween night. But Halloween night is always. I usually.
It has to be Halloween.
I started off with Halloween usually. I'm like, okay, it's Halloween. Have to get this one in.
Yeah.
Have to. After that, I like to do Trick or Treat to end Halloween night.
Okay.
And maybe if I can fit something else.
Another one I got to rewatch.
But yeah, Trick or Treat has become a Halloween watch every year for me. And like we mentioned, we talked about horror icons. It's unfortunate that I think Jigsaw is probably besides maybe Pennywise now. Those two are kind of the ones that we've had since post 2000 is Pennywise and Jigsaw. But I think the closest thing that I connect to personally the most is Sam from Trick or Treat. I think he is a great horror icon.
The only thing I think counting against him is he
only has the one movie.
Yeah.
And I think that sucks. But there's but within that one movie though, I think it stands out. At least for me personally. And, it's just one of those movies that perfectly encapsulates Halloween night. And it also is a perfect way to end Halloween night because of the way the movie is structured and the way, what it's trying to say about the holiday itself.
Sure.
Because it's pretty much a movie entirely about Halloween, about the holiday.
Yeah.
So, that's one I like to fit in there, but then I'll fit in whatever else I like to watch. Blair Witch Project, I usually try to watch in October.
I've only seen it one time.
In 1999?
2000 maybe.
No. Yeah. That's one I like to fit because it has that fall feel to it. So
yeah. I try to watch The Den every October, which I think is really good.
October.
Well, yeah, it's good. Demons is another favorite of mine. I try to watch every Halloween, which I haven't. Another one that I'm slowly becoming. It's becoming one of my favorites is the Blob remake from 1988. Is becoming a yearly watch for me in some capacity. Last year I showed it at a horror double feature, and people ate it up. It's a ton of fun.
They ate up the Blob.
They did.
Yeah.
But if we're talking specifically Halloween night, I feel like it's got to be Halloween.
It's got to be Halloween. Yeah. If not, at least that song has to be playing at some point during the night. So
I remember one night my wife and I she's like, "Hey, it's Halloween. Are we gonna watch Halloween?" And I was like, "Okay." And then she shut all the lights off and brought in candles and lit like 15 candles. And we watched Halloween with the volume way up, and it was just the perfect night. Could not have had it any better.
Yeah, last Halloween actually, we went to a friend's house, and I was all dressed up like Michael Myers because I was wandering around earlier, and then we're like, well, what movie should we watch? And I'm like, well, it's Halloween. We should probably watch Halloween. So we're at the friend's house, and I'm decked out in my Michael Myers clothes, sitting there watching Halloween.
That's awesome.
Sweating my ass off, but yeah,
the only way to do it.
It was worth it. It was worth it. So yeah. Any other final thoughts on Halloween or anything new you want to watch this year?
So my birthday is really close to Halloween. Thankfully, on the right side of it. So I love this time of year. Like I love the leaves falling. I love the weather's getting colder. I love, lighting candles and watching scary movies. So this is my time of the year. This is it. This is my Christmas, honestly.
Yeah, same here. Halloween is my favorite holiday. As like our living room is decked out.
I take it
my
off every
entranceway.
year. And this is the first year in probably 10 years I'm not taking it off. But I love this
Halloween.
Halloween.
I make sure I have Halloween night off at work. Period. Like I'm not working Halloween night. I need to be home to watch it. Like I need to be home to watch Halloween. Like it's just it is. It's like Christmas almost.
It is.
Yeah, it's a fantastic holiday. What's your favorite Halloween candy?
Like, is this a favorite candy or like
favorite? Like if you're sitting there watching Halloween, what are you gonna eat?
I'm gonna eat popcorn, honestly. My wife did something that I've personally never done before. I know it's probably a popular thing.
Okay, does it involve popcorn?
It does.
Okay.
She put M&Ms in the popcorn, and it
kind of melts the M&Ms a little bit.
What's great is the shells stay intact, but on the inside, it's nice and.
Do you like random thought? Do you like Sour Patch Kids?
Yeah, they're fine.
Okay.
I'm not doing it in popcorn.
Put them on the popcorn.
Really?
Trust me.
Okay.
You make sure the popcorn's hot.
Okay.
And just dump Sour Patch Kids and kind of mix it up a little.
Okay. I will
try it out.
I'll consider it.
Try it out.
Okay. What's your favorite holiday?
I don't know.
I do love candy corn. As cliche as that is, I do like candy corn.
Yeah. I like candy corn. I like the pumpkin.
The pumpkin candy corn.
The pumpkin candy.
Yeah.
What are those called?
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the same.
I think so.
Yeah.
Last year we tried candy corn pizza. I don't know if you've ever tried that.
Is it candy or is it pizza?
Take if you're gonna do it, just take a frozen pizza, like a $3 frozen pizza, a cheese pizza.
Yeah.
Sprinkle your candy corn all the way over top of it before you cook it. Put it in the oven for 15 minutes or whatever, and take it out. It is the strangest thing, but it's like a dessert. You can't eat it like that's gonna be your meal.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna try that.
I don't know if I'd recommend it. It was I don't know. You have one slice and you're done, type of thing. So
yeah. I can feel that.
Yeah. So candy corn is probably my favorite.
Yeah,
but candy corn, you have to put peanuts in it.
Peanuts?
Peanuts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try that.
It's the only way I can eat it.
I'll try that.
So yeah, Halloween. If you're listening to this, let us know what you guys do for Halloween. What's your favorite traditions? Like, what are your go-tos?
I'm looking for new stuff to do all the time on Halloween. So other than watching Halloween, but I'm curious to hear what other people have for traditions, so I can maybe implement them into my night.
Yeah, one thing I'm looking forward to, because we're getting the Disney Plus thing is coming out this year.
I thought you weren't getting that.
I'll have it by next Halloween because I want to watch the Halloween Town movies and those the movies I watched as a kid. I want to watch them again as an adult around Halloween. So.
I'm throwing this out there. If someone wants to give me their login information for Disney Plus, I will give you like my Criterion Channel login or something, and we can.
Who wins in that situation?
The other person does.
Yeah. So just let us know what you guys do for Halloween, or what movie you watch besides Halloween. I think everyone watches Halloween on Halloween pretty much. Let us know what's the other one you watch. So. We're gonna jump to our plugs and stuff we got going on our end, and we'll go from there. You can check out our latest episode of The Killer Countdown. Just dropped this week. It is us ranking the top 8 Halloween films from the Halloween series, not movies set on Halloween, but the Halloween series itself.
That was a fun one. Dominic was a great guest.
Yeah, we were joined by director Dominic Winnicke. Yeah, he's
a big horror.
He is a big horror fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was a lot of fun. I think we had some interesting choices, at least in placement. So, yeah, check that out right now. That's on our podcast feeds. Check out we got a couple interviews with some horror movies with some horror directors and actors. The first one is our interview with director David Weiner of the In Search of Darkness documentary. Check that out on our podcast feeds. We talked to him about his comprehensive, to say the least, 80s horror documentary, 4.5 hours long, still available for the month of October, and only for the month of October. You can check that out, In Search of Darkness. Also check out our interview with the star of the Shudder exclusive film The Furies, starring Airlie Dodds. She's the star of the film. She was a great guest that we had on, and a lot of fun. We got to talk about. I actually asked her what she likes to watch on Halloween every year.
What did she say?
She was into the 90s teen slasher movie, so I Know What You Did Last
Okay.
summer was her pick.
Okay.
I think that I haven't watched that in a while. I
I
might
it.
need
I
to.
don't remember liking it. I've only seen it once, though. I should
Yeah.
watch it again.
Scary Movie kind of ruined that one for me because it's a straight up parody of that and Scream.
Yeah.
Luckily, Scream is Scream.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can check out that interview right now. Check out our movie friends, Andy from Fat Dude Digs Flicks. Just check him out on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram at Fat Dude Digs Flicks. Check out our friend Corey Jacobson on Instagram at Somewhat Random Movie Collection. He might have some weird and fun picks for movies to watch on Halloween.
Yes.
Go check out his Instagram page.
His
He has
Instagram page is amazing.
Yes. You can check out us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and YouTube. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram simply at Backlot605. And yeah, that's it.
That was fun.
That has been it. You can also one other thing. Join us in the conversation on our Facebook page, on our Facebook group, the Sioux Falls Film Community Group. Let us know in the group what you like to watch on Halloween, or give some recommendations or anything like that. So, yeah, next week we are going to be doing something Terminator related.
Ooh.
In anticipation for Dark Fate, which comes out. And yeah, I'm not sure what we want to do yet. I might just gush about T2 for an hour.
Yeah,
Who
we
knows?
can just talk about T2 in the first one.
Yeah, T2 is great. We don't need to talk about the rest. That means I would have to watch the rest, and I don't know if I want to do that. So, well, yeah, that'll be next week though. Terminator. We'll just talk about the theme song from T2.
I almost did it right just now.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, that's next week. But thank you all once again for listening. Blake, thanks for being on and
Thank
talking
you.
Halloween.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun. My favorite day of the year.
Thank you all again for listening, and we'll check you out next time on the Backlot of South Dakota.